part of that is about us supporting emerging talents, people who are just kind of finding their path and career, and about letting everybody know how they're doing it, celebrating them, and also giving other people an opportunity to kind of talk and listen to hear what they're saying and what they're up to, and maybe give advice or maybe listen to the advice, all of that jazz. So that's why we've got two lovely people here with us today. So first off, I'm going to go to Aaron. So I understand you maybe got a little bit to tell us about where you've been up to, and then we can go to the questions. So I'm going to pass the mic over, but here's Aaron with her story so far.
Hello. So I'm Aaron, or Aaron, either one. No, it's fine. I'm a singer-songwriter. I make alternative music. I hail from London. I've been doing this for the past 3 years. And I am currently working on my second release, which is an EP, to be put out later this year.
Amazing. And actually, we've got a video. Anna, can you just go and press play on the video over there? And we've got a video of you doing your fan.
Nice.
Just behind us, so let's have a look.
So many people telling me I should be living easy. So many people telling me I should be living easy. If you leave and take everything, all I know is scared to say goodbye. When you leave and take everything, scared to say I tried. We could talk about it, though we might go the other way. I'd rather live without it, even for a day. So many people telling me I should be living easy. So many people telling me I should be living easy. If you leave and take everything, I'm scared to say goodbye. When you leave and take everything, but I'm not scared to say I tried. We could talk about it.
There we are. It's always a funny experience watching yourself, isn't it?
Especially when there's double.
Amazing. Well, that's like a tiny intro to you, and we'll get into more about that. But now I'm going to introduce you to the man on my, and I don't know my left and right, so I'm going to do the thing. The man on my right. Hello. Tell us a little bit about yourself. I'm still now.
Yeah, so I run an events and booking agency called Nights in the Round. We put on creative events for all sorts of artists, from speakers to creatives, to live artists as well. I'm also an artist. Our next big event is at the London Sky Bar, but we also work with the Primo Bar. We run a night called Creativity, which brings live artists and musicians together. And what the artist we have on the 16th, she creates a live piece for each artist that performs, and then that gets kind of displayed around the venue. Musically, I'm in a 4-piece band with 2 world-class beatboxers. We have a European tour in May, a Chinese tour in June, and a US tour in September. And we have a mainstay event on our releases on the 28th of April at the Notting Hill Arts Club. Cool. Is that enough?
That was amazing. Thank you very much. So many things to go into.
Yeah.
So let's start from the beginning with Aaron. And so I'm going to ask, where did it all kind of get started for you? Were you kind of, you know how some mums are like, oh, she was born singing from the womb. Was it kind of that kind of story? Did you meet someone really inspirational? Where did your journey in music start?
Well, my grandfather is an incredible jazz saxophonist, so I kind of grew up around music and constantly going to his gigs. He used to take me to big jazz band practice every Sunday. And I was always encouraged to be creative and artistic in that sense. It wasn't really until I got into my late teens that I realised that being a songwriter was what I wanted to do. I went to the Brit School and kind of opened my eyes in that sense. That songwriting per se was going to be the right thing to me. So yeah, that's kind of where it comes from my background.
And how about for yourself? Is that the same, like, do you have a family member? Is that the same kind of story?
Yeah, I come from quite a long background of performance. My grandmother was I think that's the highest paid female entertainer in the 1950s. She was a very successful conductor, soprano, comedian. Very unique at what she did. And then all my grandparents were comedians. My great grandmother actually was featured in quite a famous European skit that's shown every New Year's Eve in Germany and Austria called Dinner for One. Some of you might have heard of it. And yeah, I guess I'm an actor as well actually, so I've been acting since
You do it all, Nick. You can't do that.
I'm an ADD maniac. But musically, I got into songwriting about the age of 16. Ended up going to India on a trip for a month and kind of really got into writing from that. And then, yeah, I've just been writing ever since.
Cool. Thank you. Hello to our new viewers. Welcome to Bright Lights into the Spotlight. We're kind of chatting to two friends who are kind of doing crazy things within kind of the arts and creativity and music. So that's kind of where we're at. We're just finding out about their story, really, and their inspiration. So do you think, just kind of going in on the family played a really, do you think it would have been really tricky if you hadn't come from a very musical family, or do you think it's just something that you had to get out?
No, not at all. You kind of, maybe not everyone has a direction or knows what they want to do from being a wee band, but you know what gets you going and where your skills lie. I just always sang. I sang and danced and performed, and it was probably terribly irksome for everyone else around me. I don't think it would have been tricky. I think so long as you are engaged with what you enjoy and you have the right support, then you'll find a way to do what you love.
And so how did you go from dancing and singing around and saying this is something I love to do, to being on our big projector screen with a film video and a beautifully produced track and about to release an EP? What was the stage from there? Was it like, I met that person and that was it? Or was it kind of a long road of gigging?
A bit of everything, really. I mean, after I left school, I met my wonderful manager over there, and she began to develop me and gave me the confidence to say, you know, you can be an artist. You don't sing someone else's song, write your own and find your sound and find where you lie. And then, of course, you have all the influences that you listen to when you're growing up, and everything changes and you adapt. It's been a lot of kind of honing stuff in the studio and then trying it out live, seeing what works with different audiences. And also, you know, making use of the people that you have around you. I'm really lucky, I have a lot of very talented, creative friends, and the most important and enjoyable thing to me is kind of getting together with them. I directed that video with my cousin, who's a videographer. He makes videos for loads of amazing brands, and yeah, basically just collaborating and enjoying things in that sense.
Great. And Nick, you have said a massive list of things that you do. From now you run an event agency, you have a full-piece band, you do so many, you're working with beatboxers. What came, did one come first? Is it like the chicken and the egg? Or, and did they lead to other things? Or tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so when I left, I went to ACM. Actually, no, that's not your arch nemesis, that's your ICMP. That's right, we're fine. But when I left ACM,
What's
which
ACM?
is a music academy in Guildford, I ended up writing a business plan. I actually studied music business, and getting a $4 loan, which just meant I didn't have to do a normal job, which was great. And then about 6 months later, I met an LA singer-songwriter that was doing a full European tour. Then we ended up dating, and then I just literally jumped on her tour. So I ended up going all around Europe, and that was like my first experience of touring. And then I got back from that and realised I had no finance, and was like, I need to try and work out how I'm going to finance myself. And I guess events was one option, one very difficult option. And I started running open mic nights, and then it just grew, and I kind of started introducing different parts of creative aspects to our events. At the core of it though, definitely a singer-songwriter, and that kind of, but doing events has been great because you can pick up so many things for different artists that you're programming into events, and it really helps you develop because you're seeing, you know, I mean, we had about 40 events last year, seeing over 150 acts do their thing, and it's just really good being inspired, and I guess like collectively growing, which is what we've tried to do with all the events we've been doing, which has brought me to the London Sky Bar, which is a fantastic, amazing venue, and that's our next gig on the 25th.
Amazing. And Aaron, are you, I keep saying Aaron, and
It's fine. Everyone does it.
Aaron.
Yeah.
Sorry.
John.
John.
Aaron, whatever.
Aaron. So Aaron, would you, at the moment, are you kind of full-time pursuing this part of your career, or are you doing other bits of studying? Are you kind of working in other areas too?
Yeah, precisely that. I'm committed to this full time, and I try and I'm in the studio at least once or twice a week and rehearsing and all the other stuff that comes with it, but I'm also studying for a degree in English literature, and I mean, for me, I've always had a passion for reading and literature, and that plays into the songwriting and poetry and prose and whatnot. So yeah, it's a full-time commitment, but possibly not 40 hours a week. I mean, I would love it to be, but in this day and age, it's got a slot of
Yeah. So you touched on that the English kind of, there's your inspiration. So I'm interested to know both of your, because you're both songwriters, which is amazing. What's your inspiration for the songwriting? Is it the people around you, the books you read, other music you listen to, blogs that you go on certain websites, or is it kind of just a bit of everything?
I think songs, for me, like songwriting comes to, I think the best songs come from like an extreme emotional point. So whether that's, I don't know, a breakup with someone or an extremely happy moment, I tend to write best when it's on one of the extremes of emotions. It's actually, because I've got busier recently with gigs, it's sometimes more difficult to write because you've got all the other logistical stuff you're sorting out. It's like, it's true. I was at a talk with Katie Manuel, and she was saying that she turns off her phone from 11 o'clock till 4 p.m. in the afternoon because it's so easy to get wrapped up with everything else you're doing. So they're having space or breaking up with people, no, I'm joking. But that definitely is something that works for me. I tend to write the majority of the song on an extreme emotional point.
And how about for yourself? Same question.
Same question, different answer. For me, it's quite a bit different. It kind of, sometimes, there will be the odd song that I kind of just need, it's a real cathartic, well, I mean, it's always cathartic, but it's kind of really pure, honest emotion. But I really love songwriters like Kate Bush, David Bowie, Todd Rundgren. I really like the theatrical songwriters, and I really enjoy storytelling for the reason of storytelling, because I find someone else's experience far more interesting than my own, I think. So yeah, quite a lot of them might be character-based or, writing from an experience of an emotion, but not directly my own experience. It's kind of trying to channel into that. And I'm a major fangirl. Like, I get obsessed with people. So I'll listen to all the Matt DeMarco's albums and I'm going to do like, I want to make something exactly like that. And obviously it's not. But no, yeah, I really still.
I actually want to ask the creatives in our audience, because we've got now these three amazing, well, a whole host of amazingly dressed people, and you guys are performers and creators. Where does your inspiration for your pieces come from? Just out of interest, because we're kind of talking about inspiration and the artists and the creativity.
Since we were young, we've discussed this, haven't we? Just since we were young, we basically love attention.
I get my inspiration from absolutely anything, literally.
And so, have you guys ever been given a brief from someone that says, we want a song, or we want an event to match that, and you feel like that creativity's being taken away? Does it feel less like your project, and do you feel less connected to it?
I think it depends. It depends what it is. Sometimes the restrictions are really good. Sometimes, for publishing stuff, when you get sent a songwriting brief. Actually, a really good story is Pharrell Williams. The song "Happy" was written for a film, and the director rejected his song 9 times. And I think it was the 10th time, he ended up just writing a really kind of pure, quite simple lyric-driven song, which is the song that ended up going viral. Because the director just wasn't happy with the versions he was writing. So I think sometimes restrictions are quite useful, because there's obviously an expansive things you can do with any song. I'm not sure if I answered your question.
No, I think that's really interesting.
Okay?
I love that anecdote. I love that anecdote. And how have you ever been in a situation where you've kind of been asked to write something or been taken on a road musically that you maybe don't want to follow, and does it take away from your own creativity and inspiration?
Not at all. I did a lot of songwriting for other artists whilst I was developing my own sound, and I actually found it really liberating. It's really like uninhibiting writing for someone else. There's no holds barred. So like, if this is terrible, if this is awful, you can tell me that. I'm not going to take it. It's not going to like hurt me deeply because it's not my own project. It's not that emotional attachment. And equally, it's kind of more encouraging to challenge yourself and push yourself into a genre that you wouldn't necessarily gone to otherwise. So no, and often it can feed back. You're constantly inspired. I think as an artist, you have to be constantly inspired by other art, so your art is better, and it's this exchange that keeps going. So no, not at all. I think it's great.
And I'm going to do the same question to the ladies in the audience. Have you ever been given a brief for an event and you thought, oh God, no way? Or do you always think amazing?
That's what happened tonight. Which toned down our posture, because obviously, we're promoting the singleton, and it's very quite small, and it's very elegant, and we are generally quite loud.
It's the first time we're like we haven't dressed up today.
Quiet day.
But it's good for us.
It's super quiet today.
It's good for us. We really liked it. We're like, this has to shine. We're allowed a little bit on our face, but But I think it's good for us that we learned now that we like being we'd have never done it. Usually it's many colours and madness as possible. And as Laura said, because when you asked the question to them, I said, what do you think about that? What do you think? And she goes, well, we make it our own every time, don't we? And if you're really creative, then you can always twist it, and whatever they want, you can still have your style.
It's quite good to be radio sometimes.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, it shows like, you have to, it's kind of testing how professional you can be.
And it shows, exactly. It shows how the word with the V, that one, how volatile you can be and how
Versatile.
versatile.
Volatile.
That's the word.
So I'm going to go to my girls' bag question now.
Go on.
So in terms of writing songs, if you could write a song for anyone, who would that song be? Dead or alive? Just out of interest.
For anyone.
For anyone.
Dead or alive?
Sure.
Bloody hell.
How long
Can I do
have you
dead and alive?
Yeah, do Dead and Alive. That's
Okay.
great.
Well, I would do I do blood orange because I love him. I love everything that he does, and it would just be an honour. And David Bowie, but he would obviously just laugh. He would do what he did to Coldplay, which is like, this is terrible, isn't it? But you're great. Yeah.
And how about for yourself, Nick?
I'd like to write a song for Jeff Buckley just to see how he would sing it. I can't really think of anyone else right now. Yeah.
That's fine. Thanks.
Sorry.
That's all right. Another one. Where would you most like to perform?
Oh, I know this.
Oh, this is great.
Hammersmith Apollo, because I grew up around Hammersmith. I've probably spent the majority of my life in Hammersmith Broadway. So to do Hammersmith Apollo would be a homecoming, and it would feel very, very nice.
That's sweet. I was waiting for, I don't know, Glastonbury burning. No, ow, my neck.
I didn't give that answer. Coachella, because I'm a huge fan of a lot of artists, but Nine Inch Nails are incredible artists, and they've said that that's their favourite festival. So they do amazing, incredible live and stage shows at that event. So yeah.
Can we come with you? Are you a backup dancer?
Yeah, absolutely.
Backup artists. So why don't you actually tell everyone what you guys do? Because I just brought you in and you've been downstairs, but other people don't have your context. So
Are you sure you're ready for this?
yeah,
We do so many things. Tonight.
it's an open discussion. These bright lights. I'm interested.
Tonight, we do lots of things.
Yeah.
Tonight, we're Immersive Dining is the name of the company, and we create theatrical edible art, so performance and food. But we also do.
I'm in a couple of bands, in a folk band, and I'm also in like a electronic R&B band, and I do burlesque. And I'm an artist as well. I do anything creative.
We do lots of
hair and
festival
makeup,
walkabouts.
styling. I was a fashion editor. Blah blah blah.
But together we do festival walkabouts, lots of different festivals like immersive debates, radical dandy animals, morning glory bill. We've just got our proposal accepted and we doubled our budget for wilderness.
Yeah.
So that is it's like involving Sufism and Isha, and we won't say too much. But yeah, and Yumi Bum Bum Train, we both been involved in that. And so anything immersive, anything exciting, anything amazing.
Yeah, creatives. We're creatives. Artists.
Yeah.
I suppose that's kind of where you're heading to, Nick, in the events and the
You
bands
have done
and
the
a little bit of all.
Yeah, so I love immersive, and I'm looking to do because I'm programming a tour where we're going to take a load of different artists on tour in May with live art and music. It's going to be musically oriented. It's a little bit of an open book at the moment, so I'm just thinking about how we can, I guess, create something a bit like the circus, but obviously more musically centred, and I guess create a lot of hype for quite a few unsigned artists in order to try and get obviously PR around it. And essentially all the different artists involved in this tour, we want them all to be involved in sharing each other's content so that it helps market each other, cross promote.
We should do a launch here.
We could do, yeah. I've just been talking to Steph. But yeah, there's a lot of options and visuals as well. So yes, I'm just putting that all together because yeah.
You should come to the Vaults Festival, everyone, to the Artful Badgers Valentine's Ball. There's going to
You
be
should.
so many.
Yeah,
we're performing then, we're doing stuff there. So you should come along. They are amazing. And Shotgun Carousel.
And AARON. Oh God, I'm so bad. Once you get it into your head, I'm really bad. By the host. What's next? Where are you heading, and where would you love to kind of be seeing yourself in a couple of years' time?
It's a difficult question. What's next? So next is a release.
Yes.
So my second EP, I released my first last year, and I'm putting the finishing touches to the second. We shot a couple videos for a couple singles, so that's exciting. I haven't done
And
any videos
is there
before.
a date?
We're hoping for spring.
Great.
Yeah. And then after that, lots of live shows in the summer, hopefully. I'm also studying for free, so it's like, it's an intense workload. But I don't know, I just want to keep writing and producing, putting stuff out. And maybe at some point, I don't know, I've always had this idea that I'll work until I'm like 40 and then open up a cat sanctuary for big cats. So I really love big cats. That's a dream. So we'll see how that goes.
You have to write a song about big cats. Has it happened?
Really like it. Really like to do like the thought box, like Ted Hughes.
The thought box.
Yeah, it's about, yeah.
Well, we're going to get you back here actually, just around your EP release.
Yeah,
I hope so we can do a live performance for our members to get downstairs on a Friday, be really busy,
Yeah.
and kind of really showcase what you're up to. But I think that's amazing. Thank you everybody for getting involved. But I would like to ask, are there any questions from the floor?
Don't jump, guys.
Do you need any more beatboxes? I dabble.
Do you?
Yeah, I do.
Maybe you're after a beatbox this evening, weren't you?
Yeah, in fact, I think he's just texted me. He's probably lost.
Nick was actually going to do a bit of a performance with the beatbox this evening, so that might happen, so don't disappear anywhere. But so massive thank you for everybody for getting involved. Our main key word is collaboration at Lights of Soho. We did a show a while ago, the Burning Man show, about the festival, and I think that ethos really sums up how we want to do things. It's about, we're supplying this space and it's a creative space. We want you to come along and suggest loads of lovely ideas about what we should be doing. So let's have a massive round of applause for our amazing creatives this evening. This certainly isn't the last we've heard from you here, 100%, or you, Nick. And Jalone, you're meant to be in Jalone's last acoustic night, so maybe we'll get you.
I was late.
The first Monday of every, sorry, that's actually my phone, that's awful.
It's your alarm to tell you to finish. It's your alarm to tell you to finish.
Mark.
It's the, it's Mark.
Booty car.
It's my fiance. I'm an honest woman now. Sorry, I don't know what to do now. No, so if you love the music side of things, and this was kind of a music-centred one, Jalone, our insane host, who's also got a show premiering on TV on the 23rd of February. Come dine with me. They're like the celebrity ones. The really? 100%, 23rd of February. But Jalone hosts a monthly acoustic night. We've now teamed up with Soho Radio too, which is really exciting. So on the first Monday of every month, we're doing an acoustic night here. So if you've got some friends, if you want to come and get involved, talk to us after as well. And the next Bright Lights event is on the 9th, it is. 9th of March. It's a fashion installment. We've got Joshua Kane and a couple of other friends from our membership. So it's such a pleasure to have you all. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you again to all our contributors, and we'll see you next time.
Stay